Hello viewers, this is Wolf here with some more Monster Hunter collectible content, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Capcom Figure Builder Standard Plus Volume 16. So I just finished covering Volume 12 through 15 previously, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so. This is pretty much the last, like the most recent pack of this line that they've released so far. There's going to be a Volume 17 coming out in October, so pretty soon. I'm pretty hyped for that, and there's also another one coming out in December. So there's definitely some more stuff from this series to look forward to, but Volume 16 is going to be a lot more Iceborne monsters here, a lot more stuff that I'm looking forward to. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. So on the front, of course, it showed Barioth. So Barioth is, of course, the monster that I'm anticipating the most out of this pack. So I can't wait to see Barioth in this figure form. But yeah, definitely gonna be a lot of cool stuff in here. So with the box finally open, this is, of course, our pack of 6 here. So of course I'm going to go one by one, open them up all individually, take a look at the monster, and yeah, and then go from there. So starting with the first box, we're going to take a look at, we got Beotodus. So we're going to take a look at Beotodus here. So, just taking a look at Beotodus, I like the coloration that they have on him. Just as a focus, as the camera focuses, I'm liking the coloration on him. I do kind of like how they captured the snow on the back of his body, which is pretty cool, even on the back of the head here, or on the top of the head. Looking pretty cool. And then there's a very shiny coloration just on the underside of his body here, with kind of like a bronzy color here, and then it kind of goes up into about a bit of a gold here as it meets the black. So, very nice coloration on Beotodus here. Again, Beotodus, not that much of a special monster. I actually do like him more than Gyarados and, yeah, like Gyarados and Lavasioth. I do think he's a little bit more enjoyable to fight, but again, he's not really that special. So, that's the first box. And it also comes with, actually no, that one doesn't have another piece in it. So, it does come with another stand though, which is kind of interesting. So, taking a look at box 2. So, box 2, we have Viper Tobi-Kadachi. So, this was the other monster that I was anticipating from this pack. I really like Tobi-Kadachi and Viper Tobi-Kadachi. Mainly their design, I think they look really cool. And just taking a look at this Viper Tobi-Kadachi, I think they did a really good job modeling this. This looks really, really good. Especially the tail. Like, the tail is definitely what catches my eye the most on here, because you can definitely see the spines, or like the poison barbs, that kind of stick out from the tail, which is really cool. It's a very nice detail, because normally Tobi-Kadachi, like a regular Tobi-Kadachi, you don't really have that. It's kind of just a furred tail. But I like here how you have that nice contrast, where you have like this golden fur at the top of the tail here, but then of course you have these barbs here that stick out on the side, kind of camouflage with his tail. Of course these are like the poison barbs. If they hit you, then you're not gonna like that venom that's gonna be injected into your body. That's not gonna be fun. But yeah, very nice design on Viper here, looking very good. I've always liked this kind of golden, kind of like part gold, kind of orangey, bronzy kind of color aesthetic that they have with Viper here, looking very good. Even with the face here, you can see that there's a bit of like a pale purple just underneath the head here, just as the camera focuses. There's a bit of like a pale purple under there, even when you look into the mouth, and it's contrasted with the kind of orangey tipped tongue there, looking pretty cool. And then yeah, you can see the eye right here with the little eye slit there, and these tiny little black spikes on the top of the head. So yeah, this model of Viper Tobi-Kadachi is very nice. I really like that. And of course there is a transparent piece here. This tail looks familiar. Damn, I can't think of it right now, but I know what that tail is from. But I guess we'll see Oh wait, this is a Barioth tail. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna have a transparent Barioth there. Okay, so now on to box 3. So we're gonna take a look at Coral Pukei-Pukei. So Coral Pukei-Pukei, another monster that I honestly really like. I think this monster out of the other variants is one of the monsters that's very drastically different from his original, because he goes from being a poison monster into like a projectile heavy water based monster with a lot of really interesting water beams and water based attacks. So I think Coral Pukei-Pukei is honestly really cool, and I like what they did with his color scheme, because I like this bright red that they have on his back. It's almost like a crimson red, a very nice looking color that they have here, and the way that it transitions into an orange and down into this very bright yellow right on the top of his head looks really nice. You can see the little tail, the little water shooter right here. That's detailed pretty nicely as well. We also have these very small black sections right here on the back, looking pretty cool. And of course, I think this is pretty cool. They put a lot of detail on Coral Pukei-Pukei's tongue. And this tongue is huge. This tongue is like really thick. There's a lot of color variation going through this, because right at the tip of the tongue here, where it kind of like splits out into like a snake tongue almost, like a forked tongue design, which I think is kind of cool. We have this very bright blue here, which then slowly transitions into like a darker blue and then into a purple as it gets closer to the mouth. And you can see just as it enters the mouth, it kind of darkens out a little bit there too, which is kind of cool. And of course we have his green eyes there. This model of Coral Pukei-Pukei honestly looks really good. I'm liking this a lot, especially on the wingtips here, where we have this little circular design on the wingtips. I think that's actually pretty cool. It's very nicely detailed there as well too, as well as the silvers on the very end of the membrane of the wings. So pretty cool looking design with Coral Pukei-Pukei there. And then of course here is our other transparent piece for Barioth. So on to box 4. Of course we have the man himself. We have Barioth. So, just taking this out. So, this model of Barioth looks really good. Honestly, I've been wanting a Barioth model for the longest time. I think this line of him looks very, very good. It's kind of... he's not as bright white as you'd be used to, I suppose. He's more of like a darker gray. And on his wings, they kind of transition into a bit of a brownish. The gray kind of goes into a little bit of a, kind of like a, maybe not necessarily like a brown, but kind of goes from like a vanilla into like a darker color there. You can see his amber tusks here, looking very nice, very detailed here. I'm liking the tusks there. His head design looks very, very good as well too. And this model is actually pretty sizable compared to some of the other figure builder ones. You can see that he definitely has a very long length of his tail here. And of course his tail is kind of highlighted a little bit by these orange spikes right on the ends of it. Looking very nice, of course. So yeah, this model of Barioth looking really cool. Pretty happy to finally have a model of Barioth now as well. So now, on to the second to last box. So of course, another piece for Barioth. We have Brute Tigrex. So, another monster that I wanted to have in figure form as well too. Brute Tigrex, a very, very cool variant of Tigrex. I love Brute Tigrex's color aesthetic. I really love this combination between black and brown. It just looks really nice. And it actually kind of reminds me of another model that I have from a series called Zone of the Enders. There's a model called Anubis, and he kind of shares a similar color scheme to him with this black and brown aesthetic. It's something that I really like. Looks very, very good on Brute Tigrex here. And the membrane of the wing kind of contrasts the darker sections of his body really nicely with this very bright, almost kind of creamy color here, which looks very good. And there's a bit of like a shiny texture to his body as well here. A very nice sheen on the black sections going all the way down his body, looking very, very shiny and almost liquidy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm really liking this Brute Tigrex design, especially with these little brownish stripes that you can see on his hind leg right back there. Yeah, and I do apologize for the camera being out of focus. It is kind of being a bit more problematic during this video, but you know, we're on to our last box here. So let's see what we have in stock. So that's going to be another Barioth piece there. So the last monster we're going to close off with is Brachydios. So this is the final monster of this pack here, and of course the final monster that I was really anticipating for this pack. I love Brachydios. He's a very cool monster, and just taking a look at him in this model form, he looks great. I love the blue that they used on this. It's a very nice, shiny, dark blue on Brachydios here, looking very good, especially when you look down to the back of his body, looking very, very nice. Especially like the greens on his pounders as well. The greens are very bright. There's a nice transition between like the blues into a dark green and then to the bright green tips of the pounders here as well. If you look into his face, I like how you can see the slime on his tongue. You can see that green section of his tongue there, looking pretty cool, and then the pounder on his head. The design of like the jagged structure of his mouth looks very nice as well too, as well as this very sharp section right here on the top of his head. Honestly, this Brachydios model looks incredible. And if just taking a look onto the tail here, where we have this nice little mace design with the little spikes or the blades going around the ends of it, it looks very good. And then on the underside, we have like a kind of a grayish color on the bottom there. So yeah, this is a very nice looking design. I like how they captured the segments too on the back of his body, looking very good, very sharp and very jagged on his body here. Yeah, this model, they really did a good job with this Brachydios. I'm pretty happy to have a Brachydios model here as well too. And they do have a creator's model version of Brachydios, which I do want to get, but that one is like, it's very difficult to get that. Like, I don't think you can find it anywhere online. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's nice to actually have like a miniature version of Brachydios here from this line at the very least. So that pretty much covers all of the monsters here in this box. So I'm just going to assemble all of them onto their stand and then just showcase them real quick. Alright, so here I just assembled all of the monsters up on their stands. So just as I pan around this is of course everything that comes with this pack, and these make a very beautiful looking display with all of these monsters. And you can see here, this is the clear version of Barioth that we have here. So, of course, like I mentioned before with the Xeno'jiiva in the Volume 12 pack, you know, with this clear aesthetic, if you have it in a display area with some lights, some LEDs or whatever, I think this is definitely going to benefit from that extra visual there. But, of course, looking at everything here, all of these monsters look great. Beotodus, you know, Brute Tigrex looks great. Of course, I really like Brachydios, Barioth, Viper Tobi-Kadachi, and Coral Pukei-Pukei. I think my favorites out of this pack is definitely Brachydios. Brachydios looks really good. I love Viper Tobi-Kadachi and Brute Tigrex. These all look really good. And yeah, the cool thing about these stands is that if you really want to, you can of course actually attach these stands side to side. You can actually mount this into the other stands. You can kind of connect them together, which is kind of cool. I do like the fact that these stands have some interaction with each other, so I think that's actually pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this Volume 16 pack. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found it informative. So there's definitely gonna be a lot more Monster Hunter collectible content coming in the future. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. But until then, I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys have a good day or good night, depending on where you are. And I will see you all later.